and welcome to Flosstube number 5 from Climbing Goat Designs. It's lovely to see you all again. It's been a bit of a while since the last Flosstube number 4, which was in June, and it's now the 19th of December. I've been quite poorly all that time, so I haven't been up to making any videos, but I've been a bit better since November, so I thought it'd be really nice to say hello before Christmas, and a couple of people asked me for another video, which was really nice, so thank you for that. And here I am. I'm wearing my Christmas jumper. I have to stand up so you can see it properly. It's Rudolph with his red nose, otherwise the antlers might not quite make sense just on their own in the video. I have my fairy lights and tinsel up. The fairy lights were hanging very neatly over the James Webb Space Telescope Stitchalong, which I had hanging there, but I've had to take it down because obviously you'd be seeing it 11 months too early if I left it there, so that's out of the way by now. It makes the fairy lights look more scruffy. I think in the new year I'll move it into the front and probably hang the Hubble there, but it's all moving around at the moment with Christmas. So in pattern news, there's been lots of new patterns, of course, since the last video, so too many to share, but if you check out the website, I have a new pattern section which currently dates back to about October, I think, and then you can browse all the subject sections as well, of course. The current Stitchalong running is the Snowflakes and Stars Advent Calendar Stitchalong, which is my first ever Advent Calendar Stitchalong, with a pattern released every day from the 1st to the 24th of December. So I've done Christmas Stitchalongs before, but I've never done an Advent Calendar one like this with every day. So that was a lot of sections to produce, which I did back in spring, and I don't know how it was going to go, but it's been brilliant. There's been so much enthusiasm from everyone. It's been absolutely lovely seeing all your pieces in the Facebook group and on Instagram. So that's been really fun, and I've got the completed piece hanging up there, but because it's the 19th of December I can't show it to you yet, but I'll put up a picture of where it's at on day 19, and next video I'll hopefully be able to show you the whole thing. And I've started drafting one for next year already, so yeah, that I'll do it again next year because people were saying they wanted to do it again, so that's been really fun. And now I can show you the actual completed Wonders of the Hubble Space Telescope Stitchalong that I was doing updates on earlier in the year, and it finished in November, ran from January to November 2023, and so everyone has the full pattern now, so I can show you the frame version, which is here. There we are. That's how big it is next to my head, and I have it framed in blues. It's on Karina's fabric from Fin Stitch's factory, and it is model stitched by the wonderful Ellie Darman, who also model stitched the James Webb Space Telescope. So here it is. The final section was the middle square, which was the telescope itself. Hold it up. Hovering over the Earth, and then we have all different nebulae and galaxies, and this is a light echo. I didn't know about that until I was charting it for this, so that was fascinating to research. And it's got underneath what they all are, and that's the completed piece. So that's been really good. It's nice to be able to share it. I've had it up on my wall all year, and couldn't of course show anyone, so here it is. And then as I said, next year's Space Stitchalong is Wonders of the James Webb Space Telescope, which is the telescope that was launched into space 2 years ago on Christmas Day, so it's almost 2 years old now, and yeah, I didn't know if I could pull that one off because it has 18 images in it, and I've never done anything like that before. It was really quite a crazy thing to even attempt, and I didn't know really until I got to the end whether we could do it, because I have to pull the colours down enough. It's got 85 colours in, which probably sounds like a lot, but when I charted each bit individually and then put them together, it's about 200 colours, which nobody's going to do a stitch along with 200 colours in it. And so then I have to combine the colours and bring them down and bring them down. And I can't tell until sort of very near the end of 2 months of work if I was going to be able to actually pull it off. But we have, and Ellie stitched it and restitched bits of it that we had to get just right. It was similar with Hubble, actually, that we had more problems earlier on. First few sections, having to keep redoing them and thinking, oh, this is going to be a nightmare if we have to go through the entire thing like this. And then it settled down and we went quicker through the rest, which is good. One of the bits we've redone is now one of my favourite hexagons. So, and then and Ellie did a great job and very patiently restitched the bits so that I had it exactly perfect as I wanted. And yeah, I am incredibly pleased with it. I think that everybody who stitches it will be as well. I have done a trailer for it on YouTube, so check that out on my page, sort of film strip trailer where you can see. So that's been fun. That's my 5th consecutive astronomy stitch along. The first one was in 2020, started in January 2020, just before everything fell down in March 2020. And now 5th one in 2024. And then 2025, instead of space, I'm not going to do a space one, which would be very strange, but I think it was a good time to have a break because I kind of maxed out with the whole 18 pictures thing. So I'm doing an animals tree of life, evolutionary tree of life stitch along for 2025, which I have been very busy working on this autumn. And that's going to be, so it's my first biology stitch along. So it's still very much science, but moving into different area of science, and it has lots of cute animals in it. So when we're in, and then we'll be back to space hopefully the year after that. I'm not going to leave space for long. And then the other stitch along for 2024 is Dragons, a field guide, which I showed you the fabric on in one of my early videos before it was stitched on, and now I have it hanging up on the wall. It is quite large. I was going to show you, I thought I could show you the backs of James Webb and Dragons, but I didn't dare in case it somehow caught a reflection off something or something I hadn't planned. So I don't know, it must remain a secret. So I won't do that. But yeah, that's been really popular so far. I mean, it hasn't started yet, but loads of people have bought it. Thank you very much. And that's running alongside James Webb. So they both start in January. The Dragon starts on the 10th of January, and James Webb starts on the 25th of January to give people a bit of time to finish off their Hubble if they needed it. And they run for most of the year. So I shall be looking forward to giving updates on those next year. That's been really fun. So into next year, as I've been working on the animals most of the autumn. The pattern is pretty much done. I'm now doing the writing because I always write explanations with my science stitch alongs. So there's 69 animals, and I'm writing about the group of animals, such as an ant. So I'm writing about ants in general, and then about the specific species that you're stitching. So that's 69 times 2 sets of writing effectively, plus all the family names, half of which I can't pronounce, for the groups of animals. So I'm about halfway through that writing, which is taking forever, but it's been really interesting. I have learnt a lot. It's been very interesting. And then I've got to produce the chart sections export all the files, which takes ages, and then Ellie will start stitching it in January, hopefully, if it's ready, or February if it's not. And yeah, and then I'm also hoping to do some sort of enchanted creatures Stitchalong to go alongside that animals one. Whether I do a sort of pair to go with the dragons, or I don't know. That one has not started yet. So we'll get the animals finished off, get the some Christmas ones finished off so that I can start stitching the Christmas ones because I'm really slow. And then we'll see about maybe some enchanted creatures as well. So on to temperature patterns. I did mention in one of my videos that I had a temperature idea earlier this year that I was really excited about, and I didn't say what it was. And so this is it. It's my 2024 moon phases temperature chart. So that sucked up probably most of my June and July doing this. It was, yeah, one of my crazy, this is an absolute mountain of work, mad ideas that I come up with. But I just, as soon as I had the idea, I was like, that would be amazing, like stitching the moon phase for each day. So this one, all my temperature charts, all the other ones, you can stitch them for any year. They have the leap year and non-leap year separate charts included. But for this one, it is just for 2024, a specific pattern, because it's where the moon phases literally are the date of the full moon, the date of the new moon, etc. Through 2024. I hopefully will do another one for 2025 later next year, but this one is just for 2024, and it's got it comes with big pattern booklets showing you the full chart, and then it's got 3 separate pattern booklets for different time zones in America, Canada, Europe, Australia and New Zealand. And yeah, because obviously the exact moment the full moon lands varies obviously with the time zone, according to, you know, sometimes it falls over midnight. You wouldn't know as a viewer exactly the minute when it technically counts as full moon, and of course you tend to think of the full moon tonight. But I just thought, well, people aren't going to want to stitch it if they're stitching it on the wrong day, technically. You know, I always like to have things just right. So I was like, okay, we'll just do it. So I'd done 12 booklets for 12 time zones. I did so much research into time zones. I became like this really annoying time zone boffin for a month, which was really, really nice for anyone trying to talk to me. It's like, do you know all these interesting facts I know about time zones? No, make it stop. Which was surprisingly interesting. Did you know that all of Europe changes its clocks on this? Almost all of Europe on the same days. I didn't know that. So that they're all in sync, but the America tends to change their clocks on a different day, because I had to incorporate all the daylight saving times aspects. Yeah, so that was fun. And then I wrote 3 pages about the moon and the phases of the moon as well to get at the beginning of it. So I really look forward to people doing that next year. That's going to be really fun. And I have 2 other new temperature patterns this year. I have the Rainbow Temperature Garden. This is a big square made up of little garden motifs, trees and leaves and flowers, and you stitch it diagonally to sort of up and down diagonal. So this was deliberately to make quite a simple temperature chart. My temperature charts can tend to get a bit involved because I'm me, and I thought, no, I want to make one that's just for people who just don't want any sort of adjoining colours or don't want anything too complicated, and it's a bit cheaper than the other temperature charts, and it still looks really effective, hopefully. So that comes in both the maximum and minimum temperature versions and the maximum only temperature versions, as does the moon phases as well. And the 3rd new temperature pattern for this year is the temperature rainbow. I was very tempted to call it the rainbow temperature rainbow, but that seemed a bit excessive even for me. So I went with temperature rainbow. So this is a boho style rainbow with rainbow and hearts, and I really enjoyed drawing that. That comes in maximum only, maximum and minimum versions as well. And then I have all the previous temperature stitch-alongs are still up. They're all updated with the year, although you can always do them for any year anyway. So they all have leap year charts in with them every year in case you want to do a different year. So they're all ready for 2024. I've got the Stitch Your Year in temperatures, which you personalise with your own little motif for every day. It's been really nice seeing people do that this year. I've got the temperature heart, which anybody who loves hearts really, and quite nice for an anniversary year as well. And I've got the rainbow temperature supernova and the rainbow temperature galaxy, which was my original most famous temperature stitch along, and still seeing people loving doing that one, which is wonderful. I'm hoping next year I might make the temperature galaxy and the temperature supernova sort of form a pair, that they stand alone, and I'm hoping I might make a third one to fit in with those next year if it does fit. I was going to do that this year, and then the moons took over, so the moon sort of became the space temperature pattern for this year, but maybe next year, hopefully. That's it on temperature patterns, I think. So I thought I would show you, since it's Christmas, the Christmas stitch-alongs from last year. So I can show you those because I have them hanging up. So last year we had two at once. We had the Christmas dogs and the Christmas cats running together, and I knew I had to do both because I'd have a riot from the other side if I didn't. Here they are at the back, all neatly bound up by me. I'm hoping to do a tutorial video on mounting in a hoop next year. And on the front, which is beautifully stitched by Ellie, this was her first stitch before I let her loose on, or let the astronomy patterns loose on her, which she has lived to tell the tale, fortunately. And there we are. There, the string is because I had them hanging like this. Oops. String's gone over the middle now, so that I could have the hanging one above the other. So it was, I started these quite early, so it was a cat a month and a dog a month last year, and they are enjoying decorating for Christmas. So those are for sale on the website as completed patterns, like all my stitch-alongs go on sale afterwards as completed pieces. And you can buy them as a pair as well if you want, or separately. Yeah, that was good fun with the cats and the dogs. That was last year's one. I think that's all the stitching news I'm going to share with you for now. On astronomy news, we just had the Geminids meteor shower. If you saw any meteors, then please comment and let me know. I didn't. Last year I saw two just walking up the road without even looking for them, which was brilliant. This year I was like, I'm going to try and go out. I thought it was well enough to try and just about manage, and there were some clouds in the sky, and I thought, is it going to clear? Is it going to cloud? And then it was getting clearer. It's clear, and then it cleared completely. We're rush out, so we scrambled, got a hot water bottle, got my thermals on, jumped in the car to try and drive like 3 miles into the countryside, and then by the time we actually got into the car, it was clouding over. By the time we got there, about 8 minutes later or something, it was totally cloudy, and I was like, okay, fine. Joys of stargazing in Britain. So that was the end of that, and it's raining now. I'm looking at a grey sky, so I haven't seen any Geminids, but if you have, let me know. So really the thing at the moment is Jupiter is up. It is up in the south now most of the time, and it rises or in the southeast and moves across the sky towards the west. It's the brightest thing in the night sky, other than the moon, obviously. In the city, I was in Southampton, and it's amazing how most of the other stars are drowned out, but you can still see Jupiter. If you're in a light polluted place, I assume you can see Jupiter in somewhere like New York. I don't know. I've not been. Let me know. But in a city like Southampton, you certainly can. It's sort of, you don't see that many other stars, but you just sort of see this one star hanging there in a sort of Star of Bethlehem fashion, which is quite fun. So if you see one really bright star, then that will be the planet Jupiter, and if you're seeing more stars, then it will still shine out brightly as the brightest one. So yeah, look out for that if you haven't seen it already. And then you've got Orion is now rising in the east in the evening sky, and that can be seen from pretty much everywhere in the world, because as anyone who stitched my Wonders of the Night Sky pattern will know, the Orion constellation goes right over the celestial equator. So Orion always just looks amazing. The winter stars are very beautiful. We have Gemini, the twins, and Auriga and Taurus, and there are a lot of very bright, striking stars. And the Pleiades Seven Sisters cluster, which those of you who've read the Seven Sisters series that somebody got me onto with the book club post on Facebook, in the Facebook group, will be familiar with. That's up as well. If you see a little sort of smudgy thing in the sky, that's the Pleiades. That's an open star cluster of stars being born together. And I have got I went to get an Astronomy Magazine because they were doing posters last year. I got a January edition, and I haven't. I had a look this year, and I didn't seem to have any posters, but so I ended up getting the yearbook instead. I haven't read this yet. I just got it the other day, but they look quite good with nice, pretty pictures. And of course, the really big, really nice Horsehead Nebula. Got a pattern of that. The really big astronomy event next year for a lot of people is the total solar eclipse in America, in the United States, which a lot of people are going to see, and I am very jealous. That's in April next year. I did sort of think, could I possibly travel to America and see it? And then I've been struggling to even get around the nearest town lately, so the answer to that was no. But I will be watching it vicariously online, and looking forward to everybody's pictures about that. That would be great. I'm not sure. I will find out the other major events of 2024. So that's everything from me. So if you are watching this before Christmas, then I wish you a very happy and peaceful Christmas, and I will see you in 2024. Thank you so much for all your support and chat and buying patterns, and if you don't buy a pattern, just following along and leaving comments, it's fine. You don't need to buy everything. All of you, it means the world. It really does. So yeah, I really can't say quite how much it does mean. So thank you very much, and I will see you next year. Bye.